Okay, ready? Okay, here you go. You can have it. Okay.
Echo, yes. Echo, yes.
Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it.
You think you want to take that inside? I don't think so. I wouldn't be driving in the washes unless you had a 4x4. And every once in a while I will see somebody in a 4x4 driving in the washes, but you will see people in side-by-sides, you know, vehicles that are small and that can handle this kind of stuff out here. But every once in a while I will see somebody in a, what the heck, man? You see this guy out here, he's like in the middle of the wash, and he's got like a short bus kind of RV. You know, they say to not camp in the washes. I'm not sure if it's like an official rule. And I don't have any problem with that guy wants to camp in the wash, I guess. But it's just a little strange. It's a little weird. And if you're not familiar, I'm just assuming like, oh yeah, you all know about washes. Like, but if you don't live in the Southwest, you're not going to experience stuff like this. It's basically a dry riverbed is like what it will remind you of. And these things rarely get any water in them. I mean, it might be once a year. It might be once every 2 or 3 years. But you do get storms out here, and these washes will fill up occasionally. So you don't want to camp in them. Because in the middle of the night, you could wake up and literally be washed away. And people do die that way. And this time of year, and we're not expecting any rain, I think it's totally fine. As far as like safety, if you want to camp out in the wash. But I really rarely see people out in the washes. In fact, it's making me think like, is somebody trying to avoid like paying the permit fee? Like if you hide in the washes, then you can still camp in the permit areas, but you don't have to pay the fee. It's probably more like somebody just is trying to get away from the crowds. And I gotta say, the dogs and I, we found a good campsite. So we're pretty separated from everybody. I'll give you a good shot here. We're right up along this wash. But you can see my nearest neighbor is pretty far away. It's like right over here. It's a pretty big camp. They got like 4 or 5 rigs over there. And there's somebody over here. We got a wash. There's a wash separating that camp. and my camp over here. So you kind of use these washes as, they're kind of like fences, kind of like barriers, because for the most part people aren't driving through them. I just wanted to point that out. It's just kind of, things happen sometimes, and it's kind of strange. You can camp out in the middle of the wash like that. What do you think, Echo? What do you think? Echo. Echo. He's a good dog. The big tent show is what's coming up. That's like the most exciting thing that's going to happen here in Quartzsite all year. And we're going to head in there. I don't know if I'm going to put any of that on video. You can see all kinds of Quartzsite video footage of people going into town and stuff like that. You guys always want to see what I'm cooking. So today I'm going to show you the breakfast of real nomads. I have one heel from my bread left over, one egg, and some Herdez Mexican sauce. That's it. That's as fancy as I get. I do make better stuff than that, but this is what I got right now. It's a little bit later in the day, and I'm not trying to pick on this guy, but I think he got stuck in the wash. I keep hearing him revving his engine up. I'm sure he'll get out of there eventually. I'm kind of thinking, like, should I go over there and see what he's doing? Maybe I could help him. I could pull him out with my truck or something. But I don't want to be too snoopy or anything, you know? Maybe that's not what's happening. But when you're out here in these washes, this is soft gravel and sand. And it's hard to tell how deep it is. I mean, you're not supposed to drive in the wash. He's got to be stuck. He's like back there getting deeper into the bushes. And I guess if you're not from this area, like if you've never been to Quartzsite before or the desert, and that happens all the time. There's people come down here from Canada and they've never seen the desert. And so you don't know like what a wash is, like kind of what the terrain is like. You know, Quartzsite is very chill and quiet. There's, you know, here in the LTVA too, especially, it's very kind of, I don't know what the word is, like monotonous. It's very casual. People are driving real slow. You know, there's a lot of older people here. There's not really a whole lot that goes on out here in the LTVAs. You know, I saw that guy in a paramotor fly by. That's kind of an unusual thing to see. But now this guy, who I think is getting stuck in the wash back there, it's like, I don't want to be one of those snoopy campers, you know, that like watches you, like watches everything you do. But I'm just sitting here in camp and I can hear him like rolling around in there in the wash, and I hear his backup beeper keep going, and he's revving up his engine. So you're like, I really want to go over there and see, you know, hey, is everything all right? But the reality is, if he's stuck in there, he's going to have to come out here and talk to one of us with a truck that can help kind of pull him out. And there's a lot of people out here, obviously, with pickup trucks. And so he can get out. He can get out fine. So I'm just like, should I go back there? But I don't want to bother him. You know, sometimes when you get into a situation, like I've noticed this, not so much here because there's people all around. Someone will see you and they'll come over and offer help, or you can approach them and ask someone for help. But out, you know, where we're normally camping, where it's sparse, you know, as far as like how many people are camped out there, you might be a half a mile or a mile away from another camper. I'm charging my battery again. I've been charging this thing every couple days, basically. I think I could use a bigger battery for my system because I've implemented that thing into my everyday use. I use that battery every single day. And I've been just having to charge it, you know, more and more. Speaking of solar power, I have something. We're going to do a little upgrade on the trailer. It should be coming in the mail any day, so stay tuned for that video. Because I'm going to do one of the biggest upgrades. It's not that big of a deal, but it is one of the biggest upgrades I've ever done to this trailer. And we're going to improve something. And I'm pretty excited about it. And it's so inexpensive too. You can see how dusty it gets out here. And this is kind of funny. I've been leaving my screen door open, which I never do when I'm out and about because bugs will get in there. And what I've noticed about here is there's no bugs. Every once in a while, like a house fly will get in there, but I can leave this thing open. And so I've just been doing that just because it's easier for me and the dogs to get in and out. And one thing about the door, this is something else I got on order, is you see this panel here? This is the slider panel. A couple things I want to say about this. You can see how dirty it is. You know, it's white. And so every time I use it, you know, I'm grabbing it and I'm filthy. I was telling you how filthy I am. Like, I am dirty and I'm always touching the dogs, touching the dirt out here. Anything that gets out here is basically dirty. So this gets dirty. And for whatever reason it broke. Oh, actually it's fragile plastic because this trailer is it's 20 years old. So I'm sure this is an original panel and it's just fragile plastic now. So it cracked. It doesn't have much functionality anymore. But this, if you don't know about trailers, it just slides back here and then that creates the seal as far as between these two screens, and this seals off the area where you can reach in to the door and open the door so no bugs can get in. I got this piece on order and I was thinking, you know, they make black ones, and I was like, maybe I should get a black one because then I won't have to worry about it getting dirty. I decided against it, and you guys tell me what you think. So it's that white, this square right here would be replaced with a black piece of plastic. This one just stays. So the reason I decided against ordering the black one, even though the white one is just going to keep getting dirty, is just for the look of the trailer. And one thing I always think about is, like I was just saying, when you're camped out in areas where there just aren't that many people, then if, you know, someone's driving through, whether it's a cop, but you'll see like rangers drive through the BLM land, you'll see a forest ranger drive through. And I just like my rig to look kind of normal. You know, I do have an older rig, so, you know, it could make, I don't know, you know, a ranger could be a little bit more suspicious about somebody who has an older rig. You know, mine's in pretty decent shape, but you can find some pretty dumpy rigs out there. You know, people cover them in tarps and stuff like that. Anything like that, I feel like is going to make you kind of stand out more. And so you might have, you know, a ranger might stop by in your camp, and I don't have a problem with that, you know. But I've just felt like if I have a black piece on there, then my rig looks kind of like starting to look kind of put together from different parts and stuff like that. So I felt like it might draw a little bit more attention. So just kind of stay under the radar, just kind of look like you're fitting in with everybody else. Just keep your rig looking kind of you know, like it's in good shape. Like you can get around, like you're not going to be there for months on end. So kind of continuing the tour, well, I do need to dump my tanks. And when I do that, I got to pick up my chocks. I got to bring my electrical cable inside. I always have my generator locked up, so I have to unlock that, put the generator in the truck. I got chocks on this side too. Then I got to get the trailer all ready to go. I got to bring in the windows, got to organize everything inside to take her to the dump and dump the tanks. And that's just a chore that I'll do. I'm going to do that tomorrow. But I just want to kind of show you the kind of things that I have out in my camp. You know, I got my table, got my floor mat, which this is an awesome floor mat. Check the description down below. You want this floor mat. They're like 30 or 40 bucks on Amazon. And this is the perfect nomad floor mat. I'm going to do a video about my 5 must-haves for a nomad. And I'll just tell you right now, that's going to be one of them. And so we got Mr. Echo on his bed. So I have his bed out. There was kind of like a divot here, probably where there was an old campfire, or maybe a dog kind of dug this out and was laying in it. That's probably what happened. And I was just worried about either myself or someone else falling in it. So that's why I put his bed here. And I put these rocks around here just to kind of signal, you know, so people don't walk in there and trip. And he likes that a lot. Now let's go check out Dodger. Dodger's inside. He was outside all day today, just under the trailer. And he is doing really good. I know you guys all love Dodger. He's our mascot, and he's doing really good. I've actually been keeping the brace off of him a little bit so he can walk around camp. And actually haven't gone on any hikes with him in quite a while, just to kind of give him a break. He moved back into the back of the bed because he doesn't want me to take him outside. So he signals to me what he wants. And that seems to work out really well. And out here, this is kind of my breakfast area. It is late in the afternoon right now, and I've been sitting out here editing. But it's been kind of nice to just have a little spot here where it's not as dirty. And I got my trusty chair. This thing is so freaking comfortable. And that's really everything that I have out in camp. I've never showed this before. Here on the tongue of the trailer, what I do is I tie up Mr. Echo to the trailer. And what I do is I use these chains because I figure if they're strong enough to hold the trailer onto the truck, you know, if it ever gets detached, these are safety chains. And I figure Mr. Echo, you know, what does he weigh? 75 pounds, something like that. He can pull though, he can really pull. So he needs something really strong. So I hook him up to this. Then he's got, I think he's got 20 or 25 feet on his lead here. He's a good dog. But what happened is, see this fiasco I got going here now? The sand out here jams these things up, and I guess that's what happened. And then I think the spring in here kind of broke. I think it's split in half or something because there's a little bit of spring action, but not enough to keep this closed. So luckily I had another clip here. You know, if you use one of those aluminum carabiners, that's Echo will break through that in a second. But I had a smaller clasp here, and so this is what I've been using to attach it to his leash. Actually, I guess I could flip these around. That's probably a better idea now that I think about it. Will it fit? Oh yeah. Because this is much easier to attach to him. Good boy. Good boy. go. Get. And one more thing I wanted to show you guys was what I do with their water bowl. When I sit it out here, you know, I leave it out all day, but at night I always put it away, dump out the water, and then put the bowl back in the truck. But what you end up with is ants and other insects, and they'll crawl up into the bowl. So if you just take a rock or a couple rocks and then you put the bowl on top of it, it just keeps it off the ground. And then I find that, man, I don't get any bugs in it that way. Flying insects can still get into their water. So then what you do to combat that is you put a rock in the water, so the flying insects, when they get in the water, then they can crawl into that rock and dry off and then fly away. That helps a lot too, to keep the bees out and flies. So an update on my neighbor he was definitely stuck in the wash. You know, I didn't want to bug him because I just feel kind of weird, like, you know, you get into those sticky situations and sometimes you're not in a good mood. It's like, I don't really want anybody's help. I can do this on my own. You know, yeah, it's going to take me a long time as opposed to getting help from somebody, but I'd rather just do it by myself. So I was kind of waiting for him to maybe come over and ask for help, but he's from Idaho, so I guess he didn't know about the washes. And he was stuck pretty bad. He's getting his way out, and I gave him, all I had was a few boards. Like you've seen me use them before for the trailer. I use them to level the trailer out. So I have a few boards that are like 3 feet long, and then I got one that's like 5 feet long. And so I just gave him those so he can jam those under the wheels to help get out. And I was like, I could pull his vehicle out with the truck, although he's got a big vehicle. It's like a mini bus, like a shuttle bus. So it's pretty big. If he could get a little traction, I could probably pull him out, but the way his vehicle's angled, I can't pull him out that way. He's got to turn his vehicle 90 degrees before I can even attempt to pull him out with the truck. I wouldn't want to drive my truck into the wash. I do have 4x4, so I'd probably do okay, but there's no reason to risk it. So I wouldn't take my truck into those washes. Even out here, you do have to be careful. You know, most of the terrain in these LTVA areas is pretty compact and packed down, but there are areas, like you can see right here, there's some divots from a vehicle, because that's just soft sand. So you do have to be a little careful. Honestly, for me though, every time I've been out here at the LTVA areas, and even in the 2-week free areas in Quartzsite, I've never worried about getting stuck myself, just because I'm pretty cautious and I don't go through the washes. I stay on stuff that I know is pretty hard packed. And I can vouch for that based on my videos, because if you look in our videos, I think I've only been stuck one time, and that was because of mud. So we're coming up on almost 5 years now living this way, and I've only been stuck once. I'd say that's pretty good. You know, I have had to dig the trailer out a couple times, but I don't count the trailer because that's a lot easier to get stuck, and it's a lot more fragile than the truck. It's very peaceful here. And so I'm trying to use my time here to order things that I need, parts that I need, upgrades I need to do to the trailer, to the truck. I got to do something fairly major, and if you guys have trailers, you know what I'm talking about. Not major, but it'll take me a few hours to do on all the wheels. So you'll see that in an upcoming video too. It's just part of your regular maintenance if you have a trailer. And it's something you can totally do on yourself. It does get messy. All of you that have trailers, you know what I'm talking about. And I wanted to, my last video I was talking about bumping into people that have seen the Got Out channel, subscribers, and it's been really cool. And I was checking some of my messages today. It's hard to get emails because I get a lot of emails from sponsors, people wanting to send me products and show them on the channel and stuff like that. And so honestly, I don't check my email a whole lot. You can email me, and maybe we'll get a chance to meet up. If you go to our Patreon page, you can access the messages there, and you can talk directly with me. That's the best way to get a hold of me if you want to meet up. As far as like doing the group meetup, I don't know. I think I got to meet a few more of you subscribers in person to find out like what kind of crew I'm dealing with here. Because I do get a little bit, I don't know what the word is, but it's not lonely, but it's like, yeah, it'd be cool to like meet some of you guys. So it's kind of weird. I was actually thinking about, should I do a meetup? Should I meet up with a bunch of subscribers? That seems really weird and awkward to me, but subscribers I've met, you guys are all really cool. So it'd probably be kind of fun to do. Maybe it won't happen this year, but it's on my mind. So let me know if that interests you. If you're in Quartzsite and you want to meet up, like have a scheduled time, maybe a few of us can get together and we can meet up here at my camp or somewhere else. You guys can meet the dogs. Echo loves to meet people. Dodger's like, yeah, whatever. He likes treats, though. He will come over to you for treats. Of course, Echo loves treats, too. I know I say this a lot, but Quartzsite is just a chill place. And that's kind of what I wanted to show you in this video, was how we're living outside, what our camp is like, how basic it is, and kind of give you guys a little bit of that vibe of, man, Quartzsite is really relaxed. It's like a really chill place out in the desert, and you can find decent room out here. So I want you guys to think about coming here to Quartzsite. If you're traveling, if you're just traveling through, stop by, check it out. Not during the summer. It's, I mean, 100, 110, 120 degrees. You don't want to be here then. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure you hit that like button for us if you like the video. That lets us know you're watching, and we like to know you're watching. Hit the thumbs down button. Does the same thing. And we'll see you guys in the next video.